Today, 29th of May, year 2024, we continue talk about Satipaṭṭhāna path. When breathing in, the abdomen expands and rises. When breathing out, and the air is expelled, the abdomen collapses back down. This is because the stiff, tense, moving air of the rising and falling of the abdomen occurs in connection with the in-breath and out-breath. If a person breathes in one time, the abdomen rises one time. With one out-breath, there is once the falling. Observing time and again, the rising and falling that occurs with every inhalation and exhalation is called anupassana. Anu means again and again or repeated. Passana means looking, observing. Repeated observation is called anupassana. If you look before it rises or before it falls, you cannot see the rising or the falling because they are not happening presently. You cannot know them directly at the time. Only the presently occurring rising and falling can be observed and seen. Only if you look at the sky, once the lightning flashes, lightning can be seen. It cannot be observed in advance before it flashes, nor can it be seen after it has flashed. It won't be seen directly because at that point it is just imagination. Only if you look at the sky right at the moment lightning flashes, you will come to know something. What is lit up, the colors that emerge, the pattern it makes, whether bent, crooked, carved, and so on. If you go and look after it flashes, you won't be able to see. Nor would you be able to see. If you look in advance, before it flashes, looking to see the way lightning flashes is just like looking to see at the moment of rising and falling. You must practice in order to be able to observe again and again at the moment of rising and falling, so as to catch them. You must exercise. You must observe at the very moment of rising in order to catch it in time. You must make it a habit. You must develop the habit of observing the falling. At the very moment it happens. At the start of practice, you cannot yet observe right at the very moment of rising and the very moment of falling. Not being able to observe, you cannot yet know sabhava, true nature. Practice is very important. Only if there is the practice, you can come to see the thing to be seen. If there is no practice, you cannot know what is to be seen. The texts say that first of all, there must be practice. The person who is making a practice of observing the apparent rising and falling repeatedly is called anupasi in Pali. On the what should practice be done, the Sutta says, Kaye. You should make a practice of observing the presently arising mass of rising kaya, applying its name, rising. When there is the falling, you must also make a practice of observing it using the mental level, falling. You must simply do this every rising and every falling. When there is practice, most of the time there is observant knowing of every rising and every falling. You come to possess this observant knowing that is called anupasi. You reach the stage where you can observe the rising and the falling, which flows like a big stream of water without a break. That is because you have developed the habit. Without a correct, steady practice like that, you will never know rising and falling. When doing walking meditation also, you must make it a practice to make the mind stick with the leg during every lifting, moving and placing, so that the mind reaches the object. If the practice is not good, you don't know sabhava. If the practice is not good, you don't develop a good habit. When the practice is good and become developed fully, the results of good practice are sure to appear. If you keep on observing, focusing the mind definitely, the practice will become good. Due to developing the habit fully, then you are sure to know sabhava, the kinds of true nature that are like flavors. Anubhasi is the sure to come about. Ida bhekkhve bhikkhu kaye kayanubhasi viharati. Ida bhekkhve bhikkhu. Bhikkhu, a monk in this sasana, or a meditating yogi in this sasana. The term bhikkhu includes the monks. In those days, there were also bhikkhunis. At present, in place of bhikkhunis, there are nuns, Sikhawati, men called upasakas, and the women called upasika are also included. All these four types of people come under the headings of bhikkhus. The reasons for this is that they have come to the sasana because they fear seeing the frightening aspects of four future lives to come as something to be feared. That the sort of the person is called bhikkhu. If a person has been born a human being, he should be a true human being. He should be able to keep his mind human. He should possess the intelligence of a human being and become a superior person. Each and every human being on the planet dislikes killing, stealing, adultery, and other abuse of sexuality, lying, intoxication, and use of alcohol and drugs. This is what it means to be a human being. People should further understand that these are loathsome and disgusting. People who loathe and shrink from these deeds should avoid them. If people avoid them, their actions and speech become pure and clean. being free of censure and criticism. They become the pure, civilized, and gentle. They become peaceful and refined. They don't abuse or harm others. And in doing so, others are automatically protected. Two things are accomplished at the same time. A human being should have sympathy and consideration. That is, a person should understand that just as she does not like killing and stealing, neither do others. Just as she doesn't like to be attacked, neither do others. Having this feeling from others when faced with the opportunity to perform these kinds of the deeds, a person should consider others and avoid doing them. No one suffers physically or mentally because of her. There is no harm done. Others are automatically protected, just as she protects others out of compassion and consideration. She keeps herself from doing wrong. That method of living so as to be a true human being is called the training of morality, sila sikha. We should have mutual the feelings of wanting what is the good for each other. We should have the compassion. Once the person wants the welfare of others, hatred does not arise in the mind. Even if it arises, it's easy to remove, overcome. Although cruel feelings may also arise at times, they are easy to dispel. It's because of true metta and true compassion that a person is free of hatred and cruelty. Two forms of dosa. With a foundation of metta and compassion, a person will welcome the good circumstances of other people. She will want others to enjoy good things as she does. This is a person with a fundamentally good attitude. A person who can keep our mind humane. There should be that the base at least. The best thing which is the guaranteed, is to practice Satipaṭṭhāna bhavana as yogis that are doing now, which develops the mind and to make knowledge increase. If the observation becomes quite the good due to effort, on the precedent moment of noting is connected with the following one. Lava cannot enter and make the mind defined. Nor can dosa enter the mind and define it. The mind is the pure. That is a high level consciousness. The mind becomes more mature when the knowledge that develops stage by stage, starting from the discernment of Nama and the Rupa. As you continue to note, the mind develops the ability to withstand conditions. As you come to correctly see what you had initially mistaken, the mind becomes even clearer. Finally, you encounter truth to happiness if you crossed over from the observing the endless stream of physical and mental phenomena rising and passing away, called Pavada, to the cessation of physical and mental phenomena, called Abodha. You should practice to encounter this happiness at least once. If you practice to this extent, knowledge that develops as well as your ability to evaluate whether or not a task you are about to do, something you are about to say, or plan you are about to make as the beneficial and suitable. A person who possesses this ability practically will never make any big mistakes. His path in life becomes straight. Practice thoroughly and see. You will reach the right path in life. You are sure to reach the path that straightens out your life. If you walk the path that you find, you will reach the safe haven, peaceful and free of danger, because it is the right path. What is the important is finding the right path. It's not possible to search for the right path in books. It cannot be sought by reflection. If you read about it, you must do as instructed in that text. You must also search for a true, a good friend, Kalyana Maida. Person has the responsibility to follow exactly what that person, Kalyana Maida, says. If you have found someone who can truly point out the path, no one's her duty and always walking straight along. As you walk, you will gradually find true things. At that time, you will become happy. Will not be any more boredom. If you reach this happy stage, it does not take long. You can find real happiness in just a short moment. The teachers asked the yogis to reach that stage every day, according to the teaching of the Buddha, as instructed by the late most venerable Mahasi Sayadaw. In the world, there are a complete variety of affairs that people attend to. There are easy tasks as well as the difficult ones. Although a task may be easy, if you have no training, the task can still be difficult. If a person has practice or training in performing a difficult task, the task can become easy. A person must think about it like that. In the present task of studying oneself, concentrating the mind is not easy. The task of looking so as to be able to see the true nature, sabhava, that really exists in the body is not an easy one either. It is a difficult task. However, nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. The Buddha only taught what is the possible to do. He tried for himself, and what he found worked. What he taught is not imaginary. Now, yogi are working to develop the practice. In this sasana, yogi are dwelling repeatedly, observing the evident, arising kaya as kaya. You have the habit of observing again and again and live that way. If you practice, first of all, and gain the habit, it becomes easy. The moment of observation flows like a large stream of water. As you note, whatever physical or the other phenomenon arises, begins with the rising and the falling. There is no break in the flow. That itself is called anupasi. What is the present in this practice? That is the beyond again. If there are no abilities or power, it will not be possible to work to gain the practice. If there is no practice, it's not possible to gain good skills. The Buddha showed this by first listening the practice of observing again and again. Then the capability of the repeated observation. What must be present for that to occur? The Buddha showed that its components are Adapi, Sambhajano, Satima. Adapi means that there must be ardent effort in order to be able to observe the arising bodily action without a break. To say that must be effort doesn't mean just a little bit. There must be a lot of it. There must be effort interactively every time bodily action becomes apparent. You cannot be cool, nor slack, nor slow and sluggish. In this sutta, the Buddha called the quality of beings alert, active, and vigorous atapa, ardent effort. Only if used to possess atapa, you will be able to develop the habit of anupassana. That is to say, when you place the mind firmly on the abdomen, the rising appears. There should be ardent proportion to make the mind reach the rising action and stick to it. You cannot tell. The mind cannot be propelled in a slack way. The mind can only be propelled with alertness, activity, and vigor. If these are present, then the practice and good habit of anupassana will surely occur. If these the moments of alert and vigorous propelling of the mind become connected one after another. This kind of the viriya will gain momentum. That is called anupassana. The person who possesses anu, anu, anupasi is the called the person who possesses anupassana is the called anupasi. An ardent application of ardent effort, viriya, is not at all present as soon as the observable object arises, or if present but not warm and strong, still cannot stick to the observable rising object of rising and falling. Thus, in order for sati to stick, yogi must apply ardent propulsion. Propulsion is very important. In 1 minute, there are 60 seconds. The, the abdomen is rising nearly every second. If there is one moment of rising, there must always be propulsion to get the mind to the rising. If it falls, there must always be propulsion to make sati reach the falling and stay there. This does not mean a little bit of propulsion. There must be a lot. Once the moment of propulsion needs to follow another continuously. What is the benefit of there being a lot of the propulsions energy? As long as there is the propellants energy, the slack, lazy mind does not arise. The mind is free of slack laziness for one moment. If there is the one moment of propellants energy, without that kind of energy, the qualities of slackness, stopping short, and backing off are sure to enter the mind stream. The qualities of wanting to remain pure and develop the practice will no longer be present. Now, because of applying ardent propulsion, the mind does not become slack and lazy. These qualities are conquered. When the ardent effort is made again and again, becoming food strength, the fact that it's exceedingly strong is praiseworthy. You come to realize yourself. My courageous effort has become good. Because it is the good. The defilements starting with laziness cannot arise. I really did it. Yourself practice the effort. Results that come follows application of effort because you understand the virtues of ardent effort. Therefore, yogi calculated foster yourself whether or not ardent application of effort is present every second of the time to observe the arising object, starting with the rising and the falling. How many times can you apply the energy in 1 minute? If you are able to apply energy, this the virya is the sure to multiply greatly. There are needs to be a lot. When the moments of the virya effort are connected one by one, the mind becomes clear because laziness no longer arises. It becomes clean. Oh, how good it is. It can become worthy of this sort of a practice. You have to try in order to make viriya become praiseworthy in just a short time. Okay, Dhamma talk, we will just stop our discourse for today. No? By the practices, the vipassana meditation, may all the yogis be liberated from all the suffering. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.